Am I the idiot for not telling my wife to tone down her dancing at our wedding? My wife, female 29, and I, male 29, got married last weekend. We've been together since the first year of uni and got married on the 10th anniversary of the day I asked her to be my girlfriend. We've grown up together, got through thick and thin, and I know there is no one else I want to spend my life with. For context, my wife is half Spanish and we incorporated a lot of Spanish traditions into our wedding. It also meant that, with all her family there, the reception turned into quite the party. I was pretty tired after dancing for a while, so I went to sit and talk with my family whilst my wife kept dancing with her cousins and friends. After a bit of chatting, my mum and aunt essentially told me that they weren't too pleased with my wife's dancing to songs like Low and Sexy Back, saying that her slut drops and wiggling her bottom like that weren't appropriate on her wedding day and were disrespectful to me. To be honest, I didn't see anything wrong with the way she was dancing. It was nothing more than I think any person would dance to songs like that in the club when they were having fun and had a couple drinks, and I told them as such. They said I should tell her to tone it down, but she was having fun with her friends and I didn't see anything gratuitous about it, nor was she super drunk, so I told her it wasn't my place. We ended up wrapping up the party soon afterwards anyway. The morning after, we had breakfast with my family and my aunt mentioned to my wife that she was pleased that I eventually got her to tone down the fiesta. My wife asked what she meant by that and my mum told her about the conversation from last night. My wife has told me about this. I was talking to my dad and uncle at the time and didn't hear. My wife apologized but was then very quiet for the rest of the day. And when we left the hotel she was very upset with me, saying I should have told her that she had offended my family and that she was humiliated that I hadn't told her anything about it on the night, like my aunt had assumed. I was sorry that she was humiliated, but I was not sorry that I hadn't told her to tone it down, because in my opinion she didn't do anything wrong. She still thinks I should have just told her because now she won't have a good relationship with her in-laws. She doesn't have a good one with her parents. I'm mad at my mom and aunt and want them to apologize to us, but she refuses to bring it up with them and wants to apologize again to them when they come over this weekend. I want to stand up for her because I think they're being incredibly rude. But she doesn't want that, she just wants to mend bridges. She's still upset with me because I don't see it her way and because I'm not sorry that I didn't tell her. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Yeah, your wife was not disrespectful to you. Your family was disrespectful to your wife. They put you in a really shitty position. I can see why your wife might wish you'd told her and now she's upset. But if you had told her she likely would have been upset then, and I can understand why you wanted to keep that BS away from her and make sure she had fun at her wedding. It was shitty of them to say to you, and even more shitty of them to say to her. I understand that your wife is nervous about having a good relationship with your family, but honestly if they're being this dickish to her at the wedding it doesn't seem enormously likely the relationship will be very good anyway. That sucks, but it's their fault not hers. Update, I talked to my wife. I apologized for not telling her what my aunt had said, and that it was only because I believed what my aunt had said had no merit, and that she as my wife was always going to be my priority rather than placating them. She accepted my apology. She still was wary to try and confront them about it though, and I ended up saying something that I read in a comment that broke my heart. That my wife was probably more than anything grieving the loss of the new family she thought she was going to have. And she immediately burst into tears. So the commenter was spot on. Her parents went through a very bitter divorce that damaged their relationship with their children permanently. So it was a difficult conversation, but we came to the conclusion that we had to confront my mom and aunt in the hope of salvaging any relationship, though my wife wanted me to do it on our behalf. Fair. I called my aunt and basically let her have it. She wasn't apologetic at all and said some pretty nasty things that I won't repeat, so that was an immediate end to that relationship. I then called my mom to do the same, and she was very ashamed. For context, my aunt is her older sister, and we invited her because my mom and my wife wanted her there. My aunt had never met my wife, but my wife really wanted to meet my whole family. My mom grew up in a very conservative Christian household, and although she stopped believing, my aunt didn't, so there's been some distance and disappointment. My mom apologized to me and said she had been missing her sister and had let herself get brought back into old habits. She wants the opportunity to make it up to my wife, but my wife and I have agreed on low contact for now, and we'll see how we go. My wife did say okay to flowers and a letter that my mom wanted to send, but I told my mom pretty sternly not to expect anything from my wife, which she took pretty well. Most importantly, my wife now seems to be a lot happier. I don't know if our relationship with my mom will be as trusting ever again, but it at least will be one with clear boundaries. Part of the reason for the delayed update is that, amidst all this, my wife realized she'd missed her period. And lo and behold, she's pregnant. Cue panic because she drank at our wedding and this is totally unplanned, but otherwise we're ecstatic. We haven't told anyone other than her mother and sister, and now we're going to have to really think about how this is going to work with my mom. But I'm now feeling way more confident that we'll be able to figure it out together. As long as my wife is happy, I don't care. Not the idiot. Opus, I just want to say you sound like a good husband who is shouldering new responsibilities while trying to honor the old. I wish you the very best, and it sounds like you have the foundation of a relationship built around respect and communication. Not the idiot. Good for you. I understand taking a breather from your mom. Her behavior was hurtful and damaging, and people prefer to pretend that an apology erases damage instantly. It does not. A true apology may pave the way to repair, but time is often needed. Congratulations on the baby. How would you have reacted to an aunt like this? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for kicking my mom out of my house after she tried to get my fiancé to parent my kids? I, male 36, have 2 boys, ages 6 and 7. I'm engaged to Millie, female 31, and we have a great relationship. My kids like her a lot and vice versa. We always have fun together and they call her Aunt Millie. They live with me about half the time because my ex and I share custody. My mom was over at my house the other day to spend some time with us. We were having a good time. Then Millie got a package. It was a piece of antique art. She's a collector, and she left to get it ready for her display case. Soon after, my 7-year-old came in and asked me to help with his homework, so I excused myself and went to sit in the living room with him. My mom gave this odd look, but said nothing, so I didn't question it. While my boys played outside, she then asked why my fiancé didn't help him instead, since I was clearly busy with my mom. I was surprised and said Millie was busy too. Besides, my son asked me for help and not her. She tutted loudly and said, well, what's the point of getting a new wife if she's not going to help you parent your kids? She better step up fast if wants to be a mother to them. This blew my mind. Because not only was it incredibly rude, my boys already have a mother. My ex is a great parent and the only one they'd ever call mom. And Millie and I aren't even married yet, so she technically isn't their stepmom. I told her that wasn't necessary. Helping with homework is hardly parenting, and that I'm their dad, so parenting them is my job. I also clarified that had my son asked Millie for homework help, which he never does, she would have gladly helped. But that again, she was busy and he asked me. My mom said so she just expects to sit on her ass polishing her trinkets while you bust your back around here. I lost my temper and politely told her to GTFO, as I could hear my kids coming in and didn't want a scene. She was affronted, but left in a huff. Mom told the whole family. A few extended family are on her side and say I overreacted. Dad called and took no sides, but assured me my anger was justified since he knows how my mom gets. Millie is glad I stuck up for her, but feels guilty for what happened and wishes I'd gone in and asked her to help the 7-year-old so she could prove to mom that she is indeed willing to do those things. She said I shouldn't have kicked mom out before she had a chance to talk it out with her, since Millie is going to be family and we should all get along for the sake of the boys and any future kids we have. She's sad that now there's family drama about her before she's even married. I firmly feel like I did the right thing here, but seeing her stressed is giving me pause. I reassured her she's done nothing wrong. We'll make an amazing stepmom and that my kids love her, but my mom does not get to say she needs to parent them. My kids don't need or want another mom, they just want their friend, aunt. Should I have given my fiancé the chance to talk to her before kicking her out? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Does your mother hate your ex or something? It's so weird that she is trying to replace her ex's legitimacy as a mother to your shared children. Has your mother criticized your fiancé about other things before? Was she hypercritical of your ex or any other women you've been involved with? It kind of sounds like nothing will make a woman good enough in your mom's eyes. I wonder if she would have had an equally irrational response if the reverse had happened. Example, if your fiancé was helping the kids with their homework, would your mother have then criticized that as overstepping? Update. So, as some of you suggested, I drew clear boundaries with my mom explaining who parents my kids and why she was in the wrong, with some success. She acknowledged she shouldn't have insulted Millie. Then she demanded that I admit I was wrong to make her leave like that. Well, I said I didn't believe I was. She promptly texts that she's no longer coming to my wedding. She's willing to reconsider if I apologize for my rudeness. Now, my mom's done dramatic things like this before, and they always end up being empty threats, but only because someone placates or coaxes her. I didn't think apologizing was right. Poor Millie was distraught, but supported me 100%. She offered to apologize to herself if I thought it would help. She suspects that since everything was going fine until she excused herself, that my mom pulled this because she thought it was rude. Knowing mom, I can't rule this out. However, I told Millie she has nothing to apologize for and my mom was wrong to say it regardless. Worth mentioning, she didn't apologize for how rude she was about Millie, nor did I demand it. My dad told me apologizing was totally up to me and that he'd be at the wedding regardless. Sister suggested I fake an apology just to get her to the wedding, then start going LC right after. Not the worst idea, but I dislike being fake, even for an apology. I'm trying to teach my boys how they should never half-ass an apology when they know they're in the wrong. I feel something similar applies here. I respectfully told my mom that she could decide whatever she liked for the wedding, but that she wasn't going to get an apology from me. She hung up in my face and hasn't contacted me since. Been almost 2 weeks. TBH, I'm over it. I do love my mom. She's done right by my sisters and me in other areas, and I did want her there. But I need to protect my family, and she did this knowing it would hurt them. Wedding's 3 months away, so this is salvageable if it should be salvaged. But the only reason I would now is for my kids and Millie. The boys love their grandma and will wonder why she isn't there. Millie plans on this being her only wedding, as do I lol, and it was important to her that all our family attend. But she's accepted that this may be a blessing in disguise, if the only way we keep my mom in our lives is by bending the knee at every turn. One silver lining is that some of the extended family who were previously on my mom's side have decided she's now being unreasonable. They apologized and will be attending the wedding now. A few of them still back her up. But oh well, what matters is that I'm marrying the love of my life and no one there will talk poop about her for doing nothing wrong or criticize my parenting. I want to thank everyone again for their solidarity. I showed Millie many of the comments, and she thanks you too. Not the idiot. That sit on her ass line was just vile. Glad to hear you and Millie are holding the line on mom just dropping big steaming remarks like this and then saying it was a joke when you react as any honorable man would. I seriously doubt she will waste a mother of the groom entrance at your wedding. But a civil low contact sounds like a good idea. Congratulations and best wishes on your marriage. What would you do if this was your MIL? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for refusing to lie to my niece about why she is not allowed to come skiing with me? I, 29, female, have a brother, Hugo, am 31. When Hugo was 19 he got his then girlfriend Amy pregnant. They had their daughter Ashley, now 11, and later got married and had a baby boy, 4. Over the years, I've become close to Ashley. When I'm home, I live abroad, I take her out to shows, shopping, horse riding, etc. We also keep in contact via text. She's bright and thoughtful, just a pleasure to have around. Amy has never liked me but has mostly put this aside for Ashley. Me and my BF are visiting my family for Christmas and then leaving to go skiing. We arranged for Ashley to come skiing and stay with us for New Year's. Amy wasn't keen on this idea but relented because Ashley was excited to learn how to ski, as all her school friends do. I took my BF's hire car to pick Ashley up from school on Friday, and she was excited because it's a sports car and I let her friends sit in it and take pictures. At dinner, she asked if I would drive her to and chaperone her and her friends going ice skating on Tuesday in town. Hugo said I probably didn't want to look after a bunch of kids, and Amy had already planned to chaperone. Ashley ignored him and begged me to chaperone. I didn't really mind but Amy looked annoyed so I said I wouldn't want to mess with the established plan. Ashley kept pushing, and said she didn't want Amy to come because Amy dressed badly and was never fun and embarrassed her. Hugo told her to apologize, which she did, but she also kept insisting it was true. Amy got teary and Hugo kept telling Ashley she'd upset her mother but this just made Ashley angrier, and she dug her heels in. Because of this, she was told she was not allowed to go ice skating and is now not speaking to Amy. Yesterday, Amy and Hugo came to me and said they didn't want Ashley to come skiing anymore. Amy feels like Ashley needs to spend more time with her family and Hugo is supporting her. They asked if I would tell Ashley that me and BF had changed our plans and wouldn't be going on the trip anymore. I asked why and they said if they told Ashley the truth that she would blame Amy and that would defeat the point of her trying to build a bridge with Ashley. I said I understand that but I didn't feel right lying to Ashley and if her parents had made the decision they need to deal with the consequences not push it onto me. Amy said if I cared about Ashley I would realize it's best for me to fall on my sword rather than alienate her further from her mother. I said no again but Hugo said we should all take until Wednesday to think about it. Ashley is still being very standoffish to her mother, and I know if she finds out her mother canceled the ski trip it will get worse, so now I'm wondering if I should go along with Amy's plan. I just want what's best for Ashley. Am I the idiot? Editing to add the background to Amy and Ashley's relationship. Commented this elsewhere. A lot of it comes from Amy trying very hard to be Ashley's friend. Amy was young when she had Ashley and she was quite isolated caring for her while Hugo worked and went to uni. He was cut off by our parents at that time. She threw all her efforts into being a mom and being as close to Ashley as humanly possible. Ashley has explained to me that this has become very suffocating to her. She is trying to forge her own circle and she feels like Amy insists on being part of it, while also refusing to engage with her on her level. The second part is that my parents pay for Ashley to attend a very prestigious private school. Hugo and Amy are nowhere near as affluent as the other families and Ashley feels a bit left out. It's part of the reason I have chipped in for some of her extracurricular activities. But the fact is, she doesn't always feel like she fits in, which is hard for her. Her school is full of non-working Range Rover, Birkin mothers who are either cool or absent, and Amy is neither. She's involved but Ashley finds her stifling, and doesn't want her involved in her social life. It's also my opinion that Ashley is trying to get some emotional space from her mother the only way she knows how, by making her not want to spend time with her. Amy doesn't respond to her requests so I think she's just resorting to being mean to her, which obviously isn't okay. Edit 2 Since this is being asked a lot, Ashley and I have talked since the dinner and she knows I think she shouldn't have said what she said. We've talked about it. Even she said she shouldn't have said what she said. Did I go ham and tell her she's entitled, spoiled, throw the kitchen sink at her? No, but she knows I think she was wrong and she agrees. Not the idiot. And not only will Ashley prefer knowing the truth, but she will also feel as though she can trust you because you are refusing to lie to her. Also, Amy trying to guilt you into lying by pulling the if you actually care about Ashley rhetoric is such an idiotic move. Update. To get this out of the way for everyone who wants a quick update, Ashley did end up coming on the ski trip. We had a great time, especially as my engagement ring arrived and me and my BF are now officially engaged. A lot of people suggested we all sit down to discuss what's been going on, and we did. Ashley managed to say a lot of what she'd been saying to me to Amy. The conversation boiled down to, Ashley doesn't want an absent mother, but she wants a mother, not a friend. She wants a mom who drives her to ice skating with her friends and sits in the stands to supervise, not one who comes onto the ice with them and tries to hang out. She says she does sometimes feel awkward at school, but she manages it most of the time, until her mom is around and then she is reminded that she's different. A lot more was said, but this was the main gist. As for Amy, it turns out she has a lot of resentment towards our family, and even towards Ashley. She feels it's not fair that me and my parents focus so much on supporting Ashley rather than supporting Amy. She said instead of funding Ashley's education, my parents should have offered to pay for her to attend university after Ashley was born, or they should have done this instead of clearing Hugo's student loan debt. She said us caring about Ashley should have made us like her more, but we all ignored her in favor of her baby, and now even her kid was abandoning her. I won't comment on this other than to say we were all shocked by what she said. The outcome of the conversation was that Hugo and Amy decided never to tell Ashley that they almost didn't let her go on the ski trip. Ashley will start seeing a therapist to talk about what's been going on with her at home and at school, and bring her mother into some sessions if necessary. My parents have offered to fund it if it's not feasible for her parents to pay, but they're looking into it. Ashley said Amy has been giving her a lot more space since she got home, and Hugo has been spending more time with her, and might start taking riding lessons with her. He played polo as a teen, for them to bond more doing something Ashley loves. Overall, she seems a lot happier. Unfortunately, the things Amy said about our family have caused some issues between her and Hugo. Everyone is hoping they can work through it. So, sort of an open-ended update. But I'm really glad Ashley finally got to have the conversation she needed, and that she seems to be doing so well, because really that is all I've ever been hoping for. Not the idiot. Thank you very much for the update. I am glad you could talk it out. Even though you don't want to go into detail about how Amy felt after Ashley was born, I think it is important. Amy's own life was on pause. Having a child so early, she didn't have a career to go back to after Ashley grew up. I feel like she should have asked for support, but I can see where she comes from.